If you want to be successful, here's the thing you have to do. You have to jump. There is no way around it. You have to jump. Every successful person has jumped. You got to take a leap of faith. You got to dash off that cliff, and you got to jump out there as far as you can. Now here's the problem. When you jump, I can assure you one thing. I promise you this. Your parachute will not open right away. That's the fear part. You're going to hit them sides and them rocks. You're going to tear your back out on them cliff. You're going to cut yourself. You're going to get wounded. You're going to get some tears and stuff like that. But eventually, the parachute will open, and you'll be sold. But here's the other caveat. Let me teach you this right here. If you do not jump, I promise you one thing. Your parachute will never open.
I spoke to a gentleman recently. He said, after he had gone through my seminar, he heard me say, write down 101 goals. Well, he was about 24. He was struggling. He was poor. He had a used car, no money, unmarried. He wrote down 101 goals. Now, 12 years later, I'm coming back to the same city, Atlanta, Georgia. And so he came to my seminar, and he said, I have to talk to you. He said, because 2 weeks ago, I was going through my papers, and I found that notebook. And he took it out, and he said, I wonder how I did. And so he began looking, and he took out a pen, and he began ticking off the 101 goals. One of my goals was to marry a beautiful woman, which I did. To have children, which I did. To start my own business, which I did. He started to shake. He said, Brian, I had achieved all 101 goals in 12 years. And it was overwhelming to him. He could not believe it because I had told him, if you write them down, it's like programming them into your subconscious mind, where they then begin to work 24 hours a day while you're doing it.
The fastest way for you to eradicate a limiting belief is to actually see the limiting belief as untrue. And the moment that happens, there's a reorganization in your brain, like you can't unsee it. Once you see the lie as a lie, right, there's a huge shift. It reorients you to the experiences of your life. Don't let not knowing how prevent you from spending time getting additional clarity or imagining, because that's actually what's required to happen in order for you to know how. We talk about fog, right? It's like people get stuck because they're not clear. So getting more clarity, people get paralyzed by not knowing some kind of never attainable omniscience around the topic. And so they stop, right? They move into indecision, they move into some form of procrastination. And the way you get more clarity is the same way you drive in fog. You've got 10 feet of clarity. The way you get 10 feet more is to move forward 10 feet, right? You're never going to know. Fear is wanting to have a predictable outcome around an experience that you've never had before, right? And that's what we're all looking for, but that's not the way that it works. You get as clear as you can, then you take action and more.
If I scored runs, let the rest of the world talk about it. I think about the next game. And that, right from my school days, became an unwritten formula, unwritten law at home, that we don't talk about the last game, we talk about next game. If I didn't score, I would have a restless night. If I scored runs, I would still have a restless night, thinking that, how am I going to score more? My brother and my coach was instrumental in that, because every time I scored runs, none of them said, well played to me. And that's why in my farewell speech, I said to my coach, that at least now you can take a chance by saying, well done. There are no more matches in my career. But something that I lived for was appreciation from my coach and my brother, which never happened. And that was something which, sort of kept me giving my best.
You can either be someone that allows the environment to dictate how you feel or what you do, or you make your own fucking way. You'll either find a way or make a way. You gotta make your own way. The world doesn't happen to you. You create your own world. Shit's gonna go wrong all the time, but you can have two paths. The paths of all the reasons why I can't get what I want, or a path of results where I get exactly what I fucking want and won't stop till I do.
I was an executive with a nice salary, annual bonuses and stock options, all the perks. Everything was on track. And on Monday, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, in a small conference room on the top floor of our building, the president of the company wanted to have a quick meeting with me, which wasn't unusual since he was my boss. But the meeting turned out to be even more brief than expected. He fired me. And I'll never forget how his words just sucked the breath right out of me. What I now realize is while that event created the greatest amount of discomfort I had ever felt, it was that discomfort, the departure from my ordered life, that forever changed it for the better. You see, friends, what makes you comfortable can ruin you. or what makes you uncomfortable is the only way to go.
One of the things you would want to be sure to do is, whether you like it or not, get very comfortable, it may take a while, with public speaking, for example. I mean, that's an asset that will last you 50 or 60 years, and it's a liability if you don't like doing it and are uncomfortable doing it. That also will last you 50 or 60 years, and it's a necessary skill.
I think we have to get used to it. We're not that good. Even today, we still have a lot of people reject us. I don't think in this world there are a lot of people be rejected more than 30 times. If we, the only thing we never give up, the only thing we're like a Forrest Gump. We keep on fight. We keep on change ourselves. We don't complain. Whether you are successful or not successful, I find that people, when they finish the job, if they make the mistake, if they fail, if they always complain the others, this guy will never come back. If the guy only check himself, yeah, something wrong with me here, something wrong with me there, this guy has a hope.